Monday night mean once again the road to the AFC East in the playoffs goes through Foxborough. We come to bury the Eagles, not to praise them. Was the loss to Arizona the death knell for hope in the city of brotherly love? And is there any defense anywhere that can slow down Aaron Rodgers? What to expect from him tonight against the Vikings at Lambeau? It's next on NFL Primetime.
Welcome to NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
Well, here we go, everybody, and welcome into another edition of NFL Primetime. Glad you're here with us. Trey Wingo alongside Tim Hasselback, and Coach Herm Edwards is with us as we get set to wrap up what has been a wild Week 10 on Sunday. Tonight on ESPN's Monday Night Football, when the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau welcome in the Minnesota Vikings. So what to expect from Minnesota as they try and slow down Aaron Rodgers, something nobody's been able to do. For the very latest on that, time for a DirecTV team report, and we say hello to Rachel Nichols. Rachel, what is the plan? What can Minnesota do that nobody's done so far?
Yeah, Trey, imagine this. You're the Minnesota Vikings. You are popping in that film, and you are trying to figure out how to stop Aaron Rodgers. Corner Antoine Winfield told us that he's watching tape of some of those back shoulder throws and just thinking, there is no DB out there in the NFL that can stop these. And he said, you look at teams try to disguise coverages against Rodgers, and he said, Rodgers is figuring them out by just the second time around. So what do the Vikings do? Well, defensive end Jared Allen told us that their best weapon might be their attitude. They're a 2-6 team, but this is a very loose 2-6 bunch. They have hope in their quarterback. He said the team we're playing, they're undefeated. He said if this game gets close, an undefeated team can't lose to a 2-6 team. They're going to get tight. He said we can do whatever we want out there, Trey.
All right, Rachel, we'll see if that indeed plays out late in this game. Let's do the Schwab talking numbers right now, and the numbers will talk to us, and you know what they'll tell us? Aaron Rodgers is really darn good.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a surprise. Only 4 quarterbacks in NFL history have thrown at least 2 touchdowns in 10 consecutive games to start the season. Rodgers has done it in all 8 games this season compared to 2010 when Rodgers had 8 total games with at least 2 touchdown passes. And he was pretty good last year, and he's gotten better already through the start of this season. Herm, as a former defensive back, when you look at not only those numbers, but everything that Aaron Rodgers is doing from the quarterback position, I mean, you got to give him the discount double check.
Yeah.
I mean, how high do you think he's elevated his play?
Well, he reminds me a lot of Joe Montana, and I say that in a good way. In this sense, makes great decisions, processes information very quickly, accuracy. That's how Joe was. But he's more accurate than Joe down the field. I mean, big explosion plays, and that's kind of important, how they play football. Look at the tape here, watch him here. You talk about the back shoulder throw, he's even better than that. This is the back hip throw. Look what his throws at. It's not at the shoulder, it's at the hip.
That is correct.
Look at this is how accurate he is. Hard to defend. Back hip throw, good throw here. Watch him here. Process information, get rid of the ball. He understands DBs from behind. No back shoulder throw. I'm going to lead him. I'm throwing it to the pylon. Watch the throw. Not a high ball, but he has to fit it. Within 10 yards, strike, another touchdown. Now, this is what I really like about it. Rolls out, athletic ability. Watch this throw. 55-yard throw down the football field, throws it on the numbers, very accurate again. This is what he can do.
And it's what he's been doing the entire season. It's really an amazing display. As good as he's been, Tim, there have been problems with the Green Bay defense. I mean, over the first 8 games since the AFL-NFL merger of 1970, only 3 other teams have allowed more points than the Green Bay Packers have to this point. But even with all of that, you're the glasses half full kind of guy.
Can they get better? Sure, they can get better. But everyone's saying, well, I don't know if this defense is good enough for them to run the table. And I would disagree. You look at them defensively, they're just playing aggressively, jumping routes, and you'll give up big plays doing that. Versus the Chicago Bears, they jump what they think is a wide receiver screen, turns into a big play down the field. First time around against the Minnesota Vikings to start the game, Minnesota Vikings run a double move on Tramon Williams, leads to a big play, which ultimately leads to a touchdown. But watch how they're playing this. Tramon Williams and the rest of the defensive backs, they're coached to be aggressive. They're trying to read route combinations. You see there, Christian Ponder with the pump, the double move. You give up the big play. But you also get big plays when you trust your eyes, you play instinctive football, and you attack. Look at here against Phillip Rivers, jump in the underneath route, which ultimately gets returned for a touchdown. and I love the way they disguise things. You can see Woodson up at the line of scrimmage. He's the half-field defender, and at the snap of the ball, he's only 5 yards away from the line of scrimmage. That confuses Phillip Rivers, and that's exactly why Tramon Williams is able to jump the route. They actually remind me a lot of the New Orleans Saints the year the Saints went to the Super Bowl. Because right now the Packers lead the NFL with 16 interceptions, and they're second in the NFL in terms of passes defended. Their hands are all over the football.
Yeah, that game against San Diego was the first 3-interception game of Phillip Rivers' career, and you showed that Christian Ponder tape. That was Ponder's first ever start in the NFL against the Green Bay Packers. He played pretty well in that contest. Let's see what he learned from that tape and what he can apply tonight at Lambeau in the Monday night game. Lots more coming as we're just getting warmed up here on NFL Primetime. Rex Ryan said in the offseason, could somebody besides us beat the Patriots? Well, here's the problem. Unless they meet in the playoffs, Rex's Jets aren't beating the Patriots this year. And all hail Romo the Magnificent. He was historically good in Cowboys franchise history Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. And this just in, the 49ers are a solid football team. Just ask the Giants.
Talking Numbers is brought to you by Charles Schwab. Let's talk about the personal attention you and your money deserve. Talk to Chuck.
College football lives here. Coverage begins with College Game Day, Saturday at 1500 CET, live on ESPN America.
Rodgers has it. He's rolling left toward the end zone, and touchdown Packers, James Jones.
And just a perfect throw. Aaron Rodgers off the run is the best in the business.
His 15th touchdown pass, which leads everybody in the National Football League. On first down, Rodgers, he's open. Inside the 40, Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson. Touchdown Packers. 93 yards. And for Nelson, his third touchdown this season of 50 yards or more. Surprised he has the energy to leap after going 93 yards. Rodgers, touchdown. Donald Driver. Aaron Rodgers already has over 230 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. We haven't got through the first half.
He's not good, Chris. He's great.
Hey, I'm Cole Wright, and coming up tonight, a full 60 minutes of SportsCenter, and we'll need every minute to recap a wild Week 10, where we'll tell you how the Falcons gift-wrapped a win for the Saints with a costly decision in overtime. Tom Brady and the Pats try to end their 2-game losing skid with the win over the Jets, plus the Niners going for a surprising 8-1 start, while the St. Louis Cardinals named Tony La Russa's replacement. That and more, all straight ahead on SportsCenter tonight. Don't miss it.
Weight room is like my cave. As you can see, I run folks over or I throw them off me and no one man can take me down. I like to go out there and just have fun.
NFL Primetime is presented by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
And welcome back to Primetime, everybody. Trey Wingo here with Tim Hasselbeck and Coach Herm Edwards. Sunday night, a huge game in the AFC East. The Patriots went to MetLife trying to avoid their first 3-game losing streak since 2002. Jets trying to avoid getting swept by the Patriots and really fall behind the 8 ball in any chance they had to win the division. Tom Brady focused. First quarter, it's 3-0 Patriots, and the missing element all season long in the offense has been Chad Ochocinco. And there he is with a huge gain of 53 yards. Tim Hasselbeck, best play he's had all year.
Yeah, and you look at here, the Jets were unsure of themselves getting lined up against that bunch. And you see Chad just runs right through us as Revis gets a little bit confused off of the release. Big play by Chad Ochocinco in that offense.
Biggest of his career. Field goal put him up 6-0. Second quarter, it is 3rd and goal for the Jets. Mark Sanchez calls a timeout. Rex Ryan a spot cross, a tad miffed, a bit irked. He later said it was the worst call in the history of football. But it did lead to this, Herm. That was good, right?
Yeah. And by the way, your defense, they can stop them.
That's correct. Jets up 9-6, but left time on the clock for Tom Brady. Next possession, look at Brady shaking a tackler and finding Rob Gronkowski, unfrozen caveman football player. It was originally ruled a fumble. The play would be reviewed, but his elbow was clearly down.
It was clearly down, as you see there, as he's going to the ground, elbow down, plays dead at that point.
Newsflash, this guy was always open. You need to cover him.
He was huge. Later in the drive, literally 6'6", 265. Look at that with 15 seconds left. Gronk in the end zone. Penalty on the Jets is declined, but what are we doing here with the hit?
You gotta love the
excessive
trajectory of the
celebration.
throw by Tom Brady, though. A little touch on it into the end zone.
13-9 Patriots at the half. Third quarter, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't fix it. And there's Gronk again for the touchdown. Patriots take a 23-9 lead.
He's 7-11. He's always open.
He was always open. Listen, it's not going away. Fourth quarter, let's go one more time. And, oh, look, there's Rob Gronkowski again. See ball, catch ball. Did a great job.
He's number 87. Cover him.
Yeah, later in the drive, it is 3rd and 4. Wes Welker had a quiet evening, but this was an important 9 yards and a first down. Now it's 2nd and goal for Brady, and this is not good if you're a Jets fan. Deion Branch gets in, and he starts to do the Fireman Ed chant right in front of Fireman Ed. Caps a 13th play drive. Patriots up 30-16, and then, oh no, it's Rob Ninkovich, his 2nd interception of the game, and it is a pick 6. Herm, great read here by Ninkovich.
Boy, he did a great read. He was really a whole player. He saw he was trying to dump it off. Comes across. I like when guys catch the ball, not knock it down. Touchdown, Patriots.
37-16, a statement win for New England. Listen, this was not a sluggish game in the first half, Tim. Neither offense got into any rhythm. And the Patriots decided at one point to use that to their advantage.
Yeah, and it totally changed the game. You know, you look at the interception by Mark Sanchez, and from that point, the rhythm of the game changed when the Patriots went into their no-huddle offense and their hurry-up offense. They basically got free plays and were able to move the ball down the field, what led to a score. So this is their first play right after the Romo interception. They actually blitz the protection. Right away, the ball comes out. Now they hurry up the line of scrimmage. Jets aren't lined up. You run it with Danny Woodhead for a 5-yard gain on first down. You love that. And then you throw it out to an uncovered receiver for a big game. Right now, the Jets defense is reeling. Again, up at the line of scrimmage, moving quickly so they can't get calls in. They don't get lined up correctly, which ultimately ends to a big 3rd down where you got an option route by Welker, working the end line by Gronkowski. We referenced how big he is. That's 6'6" going up against 5'10". Once he gets his body inside that big wingspan, there's nothing you can do to defend that. And really, I thought that was the difference in terms of changing that football game. The rhythm completely changed, and that offense, and that was a big score coming off of a Sanchez interception.
Yeah, and the thing that you look at it and you said, Herm, why he's always open. Well, the problem is they run so many 2 tight end sets that if you try and double Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez is going to kill you with the same route. So that's the offense and the problems that the Patriots offense really presents with those 2 unique skill guys at the tight end position. Listen, a lot of talk, Herm, about the defense of the Patriots. It's been really bad this entire year. They made a bunch of plays Sunday night.
You're talking about a no-name defense.
Right.
The best defense was supposed to be the Jets. When you look at this game last night, it was really the New England Patriots defense. What they did in the secondary, I thought, was outstanding. Did a lot of bracket coverage, and when you think about how they did it, they rushed only 4 guys. That means, guess what? They dropped 7 in coverage. They took the first and second read away from Mark Sanchez, and when you do that, he has to hold the football. He holds the football, and the rush finally gets there. They sacked Mark Sanchez last night a bunch. 5 times, I believe, they sacked him, and here's the problem. When you can cover with 7 guys, you have the ability to make the quarterback hold the ball, and that's what they did last night. They held the Jets to 17 points at home, and this is a great move by the defense. I mean, they continue to rush, but the back end of their defense is covered. Mark Sanchez has nowhere to go with the football, and when that happens, you generally can sack the quarterback. So you got to take your hat off, obviously, to the New England defense because they were excellent last night. We talk about their offense, but their defense won this football game.
Yeah, they made a bunch of plays, gave their offense favorable field position. It's a short week for the Jets. It doesn't get any easier. They got to get past this game because they have a Thursday night game on the road in altitude against the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile, the third team in the AFC East that's been a real surprise all year, the Buffalo Bills, well, they went to Dallas, and I think they'd like to take that train and not go back. Tony Romo and the Cowboys getting ready to a part of their schedule they could really make some hay, and boy, did they. First quarter, there is no score. First drive, Romo to Dez Bryant, right over Leotis McKelvin for the 34-yard catch. Tim, better throw, a better catch.
Oh, that's a way better catch. The ball was left inside, and that's what they want Dez to do. Go up and fight for the football. He did it right there. 7-0,
Romo doing good. Then out of the shotgun, LaRon Robinson right there. 14-0 Cowboys. They scored on their first 2 drives. Good Romo was all over the place. He hit his first 13 throws, including this one, 58 yards to Robinson. He finished the day 23 at 26, 270 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Romo meter was peaking, as was DeMarco Murray. Listen, you can lose your job by injury in this league. Just ask Felix Jones. DeMarco was all over the place, Herm.
Yeah, and this offense got going early. And this is what you think about the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a lot of weapons. Use them. And this game, boy, I tell you what, they came out and they played great.
Yeah, whether he was catching it off a screen or running, look at this, reverses his field and goes 25 yards and picks up a first down. And the Cowboys, everything working. Everything working.
How about them Cowboys?
3rd and 16. Now, he doesn't get the first down here, but you got to give credit. Right over Jarris Byrd. I mean, jumps right over him. I'm sure the coaches will say, hey, great job. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again.
We need you healthy.
He had 135 yards. The Cowboys just blow out the Bills. All smiles for Romo and company, 44-7. When we continue here on NFL Primetime, revenge, thy name is Hester. Pick sixes and scrums all over between the Lions and the Bears at Soldier Field. It was overtime in Atlanta, but a coaching decision that everybody's talking about today. Was it the right move?
NFL Primetime is streaming live on your computer, tablet, or smartphone via WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app.
Thursday Night Football live on ESPN America. Week 11 has the Jets bound for Denver in a must-win game. The Broncos are losing sight of the AFC West and need more wins to stay in touch. Can Tebow rally the troops and turn a losing season around? Or will Sanchez and the Jets feel right at home in the Mile High City? It all starts at 0200 CET. Thursday Night Football live on ESPN America, home of the NFL.
We're underway in Super Bowl 45. 3rd and 1. Rodgers play action. Looks to the end zone. Rainbows. Jordy Nelson. He's got it. Touchdown pass. Aaron Rodgers to Jordy Nelson. Rodgers throws right side of the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Pump fake short. Airs it out deep. Left side. Intercepted on the underthrow by Collins. Weaving his way to the 5. Leaping end zone. It's a touchdown. The title is back in town.
Says here that New England's pretty good. Any questions?
It's a tough rivalry, and you better bring your A game to play the Patriots.
Every game has some type of implication.
2 tough organizations.
They can embarrass you.
It's always trash talking.
A lot of talk about Tom Brady.
It's always a great rivalry because he's such a tremendous talent. They're not afraid to rub it in your face.
Our coaches might not like each other.
Well, I'm not looking forward to, going against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, because they clearly are the best team in football is what it looks like. What everybody says, all the experts say, except me.
That divisional game last year.
Finally, we took something from them that was important. We got their attention.
It's always going to be that rivalry.
What are you doing? Like, what do you mean?
What's going on, guys?
Josh, what's up, man?
Excuse me. What's up with him?
A couple of those home run derby balls you hit?
Yeah.
They were his cousins.
Yeah. Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
Primetime rolls on with this friendly programming reminder. Make sure you check out Audibles Thursdays, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Herm, you'll be there this Thursday.
Why not?
So will his socks.
Yes, his socks will be there as well. Yes, make sure you check in and log on and send your questions via Twitter and Facebook. Audible, 7 o'clock with the coach, 7 Eastern on Thursday. This, however, is NFL Primetime, and this is a game of much contention and discussion. Saints, Falcons in Atlanta. Sean Payton back on the sidelines. Way to play through the pain, coach. Second quarter, Saints trailing 6-3. Has Jimmy Graham not had an amazing season?
Been unreal.
So how can you leave him this wide open? Oops, for the 21-yard score. Former hoop player, remember? Two-handed throwdown, but here's the problem, Tim.
Well, he moved
slanted,
the goalpost,
yeah.
But that's ridiculous.
Oh.
In perspective, that's 10 feet high.
Yeah.
His head was even with the crossbar.
They came out to fix it. It still didn't quite look right. Third quarter, Saints trailing 13-10, and Drew Brees, what Drew Brees does for 37 straight games now, at least one touchdown pass here to Robert Meacham. That second all-time on the list, only 10 behind the record by Johnny Unitas. All right, fourth down, third quarter. Remember this, they go for it on 4th and 1 with Michael Turner. The Falcons do okay. Pays off. Put that in the memory bank. We'll use it later. Very next play, Matt Ryan to Jason Snelling. You might want to tackle him.
Pays off.
It does. He's like a pinata. They all bounce off him 21 yards. Falcons take a 13-10 lead. Fourth quarter, they're down by 10. They're going for it on 4th and 3. They get it on 4th down conversion to Roddy White. And later in the drive, Ryan to Tony Gonzalez over the middle for a touchdown. And
Always
just like
open,
that,
number 88.
it is a 3-point game. Now under 2 minutes left. Remember I said, how can you leave Jimmy Graham wide open?
How do you do that?
Harry Douglas apparently played in an invisibility cloak on this drive. Not once, Tim, but twice, wide open.
Just working the seam there. As you see the zone blitz and the coverage running out past and Matt Ryan able to find Douglas in the middle of the field.
Back-to-back 23-yard gains. Later in the drive, 3rd and 6. That's incomplete. Pass interference on Tracy Porter. Herm, you like that call?
Yeah. Got there a little too soon.
Greg Williams was not happy about a D coordinator for the Saints. And, there's the one you got to have, Herm, right through Roman Harper's
Catch the
hands.
ball in the game, but you're going to get another chance.
The Falcons get another break because he could not hang on after a couple of shots to the end zone. Matt Bryant coming in to kick a 27-yarder with 5 ticks left, and bang, he's got it. And we're going to overtime, tied at 23. Here's where it really got interesting for Mike Smith. Falcons facing a 3rd and 1 in their own territory. Mike Cox, it looks like he's got the first down. It was initially ruled a first down. The rule would be overturned. It's 4th and inches. 4th and inches, so the Falcons punting music comes on, but then Mike Smith says, wait a minute, I'm going to call timeout. So punter looks over the sideline and says, what are we doing here? And as the Falcons offense takes to the field, Greg Williams, defensive coordinator for the Saints, says, wait, we don't have our heavy package in there. We need a timeout. So now, after the Saints timeout, the offense still runs out there, and this is what happens. Not even close. They stuff Michael Turner. Greg Williams says, yeah. The gamble not paying off. Mike Smith goes, ugh. And then it just came down to a 26-yarder, and just like that, John Casey, bam. And the Saints survive in overtime to win 26-23 on a very controversial decision by Mike Smith. And that leads us to the Radio Shack right call portion of the program. And Herm, I ask you first as a head coach, was this, in your opinion, the right call by Mike Smith?
No, and I think what happened to Mike, he made an emotional decision, and that happens sometimes, but you have to calm yourself. You tell players all the time, don't make emotional decisions. I thought what got him going was this. When they thought they made the play to get a first down,
right, with the
it got reviewed.
pass.
Now, a couple things you can do in that situation. If you think it's close, we used to have what we call a Geronimo call. Geronimo, get up to the line of scrimmage and run the play. You know, just run the play. If you think you made the first time, just run it. Then they can't look at it. When they looked at it, and they said, you didn't make it. Well, emotionally, he got all excited, said, what do you mean I didn't make it? I put my punting on. I'm going for it. And then he got off the hook by a timeout being called. Mm-hmm. He still emotionally was, I'm going to go for it. You can't do it.
Listen.
You got to punt it. You got to punt the ball.
Listen, emotions are not, experiences are not, in terms of Drew Brees bringing them back in the pass against your football team or running out the clock in the pass against your football team. You're on your own 29-yard line. And I think that's the point. Time is not a factor. You're on your own 29-yard line. So now what you've done is that decision decides the game. There's nothing your defense is doing at that point. That decision decides the game. You're on the other side of the football field. That's a completely different discussion. In your own end, inside your own 30-yard line, It's just the wrong decision to make. I don't care how you slice it up.
Well, that's the thing. We've had all kinds of statistical people break down analysis. Well, you're 60% more likely to do this or for. Bottom line is, you want to extend the game as long as possible, right?
No doubt.
And all those numbers don't factor in game situations. It is a completely different deal going forward on 4th and 1 from your own 27 in the first quarter than it is in overtime, knowing everything changes on that one play.
Are you saying he gambled?
Yeah.
Well, when you gamble, go to Las Vegas, because if you lose, you pay for a chandelier, and it's okay. But when you gamble on a situation like that, you lose the game. That's not
But
good.
listen, and here's the deal. Greg Williams called a timeout. He made sure that defense was prepared at that moment. At that point as well, I don't care what emotions you were overcome with when you sent your offense back out there. Now you get a chance to think about it again and say, wait a second, maybe this isn't the best move inside our own 30-yard line. So, Mike Smith going to get criticized big time for this.
Well, he said it was all my decision, put it all on me.
And he should be. And you can understand the emotions and the thought process. You understand it, but it in no way does it make it the right call.
Again, and it goes, now the Saints love this, though, because they go into their bye week on this huge win. Meanwhile, Atlanta's got to get the Tennessee Titans, who finally are getting something out of running back Chris Johnson. All those paychecks and all those money bags no longer weighing him down, apparently. We'll have more on that a little bit later on this edition of NFL Primetime. When we continue the Eagles season, did it come to a crashing conclusion Sunday, thanks to an amazing performance not only by the defense, but by Larry Fitzgerald and John Skelton? And are there any doubters now about the San Francisco 49ers and what they're able to do on a football field?
The Right Call is brought to you by Radio Shack. Radio Shack has what you need to make the holidays so right.
Monday Night Football live on ESPN America. In Week 10, the Vikings touch down in Green Bay to take on the high-flying Packers. Can Ponder rally the troops and take down the defending champs at Lambeau Field? Or will Rodgers and the Pack reign supreme? It all starts tonight at 0100 CET with Monday NFL Countdown. Monday Night Football live on ESPN America, home of the NFL.
Washington's a great rivalry. I think it all started with George Allen and Tom Landry, and obviously it's just built from there.
But to be able to go back and look at the past and all the things that are happening and what that game means, that just, just fueled everything.
Going deep, and the pass is caught for a touchdown. Goodell going deep for Morse, and he makes the catch. Unbelievable. For Jerry Jones and for Bill Parcells, that's about as bitter as it gets.
We had some battles in my past 6 years of playing them, and I know the 30-plus years, before that.
Play action fake to doorstep. Set up a screen, batted in the air, picked off by Darryl Brand. Touchdown, Washington Redskins! I don't believe it!
First and goal at the 2. Schaub feeds Foster running left. Gets in. That gets the party started for the Texans. Dumps it over the middle to Foster across the 5. Takes the man into the end zone. Touchdown, Texans.
Shoulder pads in your chest, and I ran through you.
Right side throw hole, 30, 25. Cuts right, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, rock and roll. Arian Foster to the house.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. I'm Rachel Nichols in Green Bay, where the offense has been spectacular this season, but the defense, not so much. The Packers rank in the bottom 3 in the league, and they've been plagued by miscommunication, missed assignments, missed tackles. They do lead the league in interceptions, and Coach Mike McCarthy told us he thinks sometimes that's the problem. Everyone is chasing interceptions a bit, and that's leading to some of the mistakes. But linebacker Clay Matthews says it's more about accountability throughout the unit. He is telling his teammates tonight it is simple. Handle your business. Matthews says if everyone raises their own accountability, they will fall in line as a unit.
Primetime rolls on with the San Francisco 49ers. They've been so dominant in the Eastern time zone. Now they get a home game against a team from the Eastern time zone, the New York Football Giants. Fourth quarter, 49ers down by a point, 13-12. Alex Smith to Vernon Davis, who was wide open, and he's in for a 31-yard score. Tim, what happened here?
Well, it's a busting coverage. You see Davis going to run a shallow cross. Well, the linebacker and the safety, no one runs with him. Everyone else is running man-to-man except for with Davis, which is why he's wide open and able to jump into the end zone.
Huge gain and a touchdown. 49ers up 20-13. Then there was Mario Manningham and Eli Manning. Eli, here to Manningham. That's a great job on a 13-yard touchdown. That was the touchdown that put him up 13-12. That was the good, and here's the indifferent. Eli is intercepted by Carlos Rogers, his second interception of the game, but looks like Manningham broke off his route here, Coach.
Yeah, he really did. You got to continue the route. Now, watch what he does here. He goes back out. Eli is anticipating him coming inside. Bad ball. That's bad
There's
ball.
the Tom Coughlin head shake right there. Right now with a 4th and 6, and Manningham comes up with a huge catch, a gain of 18 yards and a first down. So again, we're back to the good Manningham.
And this time he stays on his route, and he's exactly where Eli expects him to be. Big pickup on the sideline.
Later on the drive, it's 2nd and 5. Again, they've got to get a score here. Eli to Manningham. Oh, just off his fingertips, Coach. Got to make that catch?
You got to lay out and make that catch.
Manning cannot.
Lay it out. The ground will catch you.
2 plays later, again, it's another 4th down. Boy, that was a story of the day on some of these games. 4th down conversions or not. Victor Cruz, first down Giants. Second 4th down conversion of the drive. Will they get the trifecta? Justin Smith says no. Bats it away. Great job by Smith.
Huge play by that defense. Also, nice job of Patrick Willis at jamming the tight end off the line of scrimmage.
Niners win at 27-20. They still have not allowed a rushing touchdown this year. That's amazing. Cardinals, Eagles, Andy Reid and company trying to salvage their season, get something going. There is no score in the first. Michael Vick to Riley Cooper, and Cooper drops that one. Yeah, that one's not on Michael Vick. Very next play, Vick rolling out to his left. Oh, Brent Selleck is wide open. That one's on Michael Vick.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. Okay, next play, 3rd and 10. Vick running around. There's a little pressure coming from Darnell Dockett and Jason Avant. That one, 3 and out for the Eagles. Not a great series or a great game for Michael Vick. Third quarter, Eagles up 14-7. Calais Campbell just comes up and swallows that pass with the interception, Herm.
Yeah, here's the problem. Where his height comes in, Michael Vick has to throw through alleys, and right there, pick the bad alley.
Yeah, pick the Calais Campbell alley. That was Vick's 4th red zone pick of the season. 4th quarter, score tied. Vick looking for Steve Smith on the run, and Steve Smith is going to
get up the field.
Just fall down.
Don't
1
do
yard
it, Steve
short.
Smith.
He just falls down.
Bad football awareness.
The Eagles would have to punt. Larry Fitzgerald, bless his heart, has had a terrible season trying to adjust to Kevin Cobb and now John Skelton. And apparently all he needed was some tipped footballs, because that one tipped right to L. Fitz. Gain of 29. Later on the drive. Did I mention tip drills?
Yeah.
Again! And this one he gobbles up for a touchdown.
This guy is so good. Concentration, body control, everything. Complete wide receiver. And what he's doing with guys at the quarterback position that aren't playing well is absolutely remarkable.
And everybody's going to rave about a catch we'll see later from Jonathan Baldwin of the Chiefs. I'm sorry, this catch was phenomenal. Over the shoulder, getting right down to the 1 yard line. He thought he got in. Doesn't get any better than that, Herm.
Great catch, great throw. Why is not Nnamdi Asomugha on him?
Well, that's an excellent question.
But that's later on for a discussion.
Right, you have a coaching concern there. And then that set up this. Skelton to early Doucette for the touchdown, and the Cardinals go up 21-17. There is still some time left, though. 41 ticks, 3rd and 20. Vick looking deep, but that was right to A.J. Jefferson, and just like that, ball game, as the Cardinals come away with a huge win, 21-17. Well, time for our Sony hot button topic, and the question is this it? Does this end it for the Philadelphia Eagles? I mean, they're so far behind so many teams right now, Tim, for the wild card. Was this the death knell of their season?
I believe so. And really, I think whether or not they're mathematically eliminated, that's a different discussion. But you don't see improvement for this football team. And I think just going forward, a team that would have to get hot and play well down the stretch, you don't see them getting any better. You don't see them playing better on the defensive side of the ball. You don't necessarily see them playing better on the offensive side of the ball, especially from the quarterback position. So, yeah, I mean, they look just about as dead as you can look at roughly the halfway point in the season.
Well, making it worse, Michael Vick with some broken ribs in that game. And even before the ribs, Herm, you look at Michael Vick this year, he's just not the same player he was a year ago when they gave him that huge contract based on last year.
No, you make a good point. And when you look at this football team, it's a talented football team. And it plays in spurts. In other words, a lot of big plays, a lot of highlight plays. But the problem is you win it in the National Football League with a team, not with talented players that make big plays. And they haven't done that on a consistent basis thus far in the season. And that's why they're 3-9. I was 3-6. There's a reason they're 3-6. It's not by accident.
No, and listen, I think, we've been all critical of the defense, critical of Juan Castillo, critical of Andy Reid. But, how about, in fairness, how about Michael Vick? Michael Vick throws for under 130 yards, turns it over a couple times. Michael Vick, to put it in perspective now, he's making over $1 million a game. Michael Vick is getting paid like one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. You cannot play the way he has played this year and justify the type of money that he's earned. And really, you look at it from the Eagles' perspective, they paid a lot of money to a guy who played great last year and is not playing anywhere near the way he played a year ago.
And at this point, we don't even know if he will play for their next game because of those broken ribs. And it is Sunday against the Giants at MetLife Stadium. They've already lost once to the Giants at home in Philadelphia. Meanwhile, for more on the Sony Hot Button topics, log on to espn.com, search Sony Hot Button. Also check out NFL.com. Well, remember that great Monday night game, Week 5 between the Lions and the Bears? It was all excited, first Monday night game in a decade for the Lions, everything going great. Well, the rematch was Sunday at Soldier Field. The Bears are already up 13-0, and they're punting to Devin Hester.
Why?
I ask you why.
Newsflash.
Yeah.
Newsflash. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Why?
This was his 12th punt return touchdown. That's an NFL record. His 18th total return. Look at Spice Adams cooling him off. He's only one behind Deion Sanders' all-time record already. Jay Cutler scrambling, and Ndamukong Suh and there goes a helmet. Suh was not penalized on the play.
Really? Didn't he go to the commissioner's office last week?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, boy. He didn't learn anything.
We'll get a note from him this week, too.
A note with a little direct deposit. With a direct deposit. Okay. Bears up 37-6 at this point. Jay Cutler scrambling. This is the rookie Nick Fairley. Now watch what happens after the play. Nick Fairley was flagged for this one. Unnecessary roughness, driving him into the ground, helmet to helmet. Pretty obvious, right?
I think he hit everything you can't do on one play.
That was like the grand slam of things not to do. Matthew Stafford had himself a rough afternoon. That was an inaccurate throw behind his receiver, and Major Wright makes a major play, 22 yards on the pick six. Bears up 27-6. Well, let's not do that again. Next drive, same score. Where's Peanut? Peanut Tillman right there. 44 yards back to the house.
Is he working at the Waffle House? He's just serving them up right now.
He is. Back drives with pick sixes. Bears up 34-6. Stafford seems to think there was some miscommunication there.
Calvin Johnson sold him out a little bit on that route.
And then
how about that
this
route?
one? Look at that one. DJ Moore, or actually Tim Jennings rather, picks it off and goes the other way. But watch what happens with Matthew Stafford and DJ on the return. Stafford just drags down DJ Moore. That started a scrum all over the place. I don't care what, you can't do this, right?
Frustration out of Matthew Stafford there. But I got to tell you, DJ Moore ejected from the game. I don't get that one either. You see guys push and shove and have to whistle all the time.
Yeah,
it's a DB.
Moore was ejected. Stafford stayed in the game. Bears won it big, 37-13. When we continue on NFL Primetime, Bears, by the way, have ripped off 4 straight wins. A huge game for Cincinnati. The bulk of their schedule coming in the second half of the first test Sunday, home game against Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, in the history of football, never have 2 complete passes been more important than they were Sunday in Kansas City.
Hot Button is brought to you by Sony, who invites you to get into the conversation. Log on to espn.com, search NFL Hot Button.
This November on ESPN America, it's an action-packed fall, and we've got it all. College football's biggest rivalries take center stage, and we're back on campus as the new college hoop season tips off. Plus, every Monday, Michael, Kim, and the crew keep you up to date with the latest NFL news on an all-new hour-long sports center. And get ready for the NFL's Thanksgiving feast. The brightest stars, the biggest games, all month long, live on ESPN America.
For the 7th consecutive season, Reggie Wayne recorded over 1,000 yards receiving in 2010.
Catch Reggie, what a catch! Reggie went and got it.
The 10-year veteran was Peyton Manning's favorite target, catching 111 passes for nearly 1,400 yards and 6 touchdowns. After reaching the playoffs for the 9th consecutive season, Wayne and the Colts looked ahead to the postseason again and win their 2nd Super Bowl.
From exotic escapes to spa indulgences to golf getaways, you'll discover your perfect retreat at Starwood Hotels and Resorts' brand new website, spg.com/resorts. Book your dream vacation at one of more than 200 amazing resorts and take advantage of our best rate guarantee. More luxury, more destinations. spg.com/resorts.
And the 25-yard tackle, left for the TD. And he makes a one-handed catch for a touchdown.
He's going to air one out down the middle, and he's caught. Touchdown!
Catch an NFL tripleheader live on ESPN America every Sunday, starting at 1600 CET with Sunday NFL Countdown.
The Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup, and they pour on to celebrate with Tim Thomas, their heroic goaltender. And this will undoubtedly be the highest that it's ever been held. Shoots,
Unleashes the fury! Don't miss the NHL all season long, live on ESPN America.
You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by Bud Light.
Well, Andy Dalton, the rookie quarterback and company, have been really great in Cincinnati. The second half of their season, 2 games against Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers, 2 games against the Ravens. How would they respond? Well, 3rd and 10 for Ben early on, and there he is to Jericho Cotchery for the 16-yard score. Steelers up 7-0. Listen, you want to try and hit Heath Miller, the tight end for the Steelers, that's fine, but if you hit him, you're going to get the worst of it, as Reggie Nelson just found out, Herm.
Watch it, Reggie. Know your skill level. That hurts.
That hurts. Reggie went backwards there. That led to a Rashard Mendenhall touchdown. 14-0. Steelers came out of the gate flying. Give Dalton and company credit. They came back, and this connection has been working all year. Dalton to A.J. Green, who gets the touchdown. But as you see, he landed very awkwardly on that knee on the 36-yard score, Tim.
Yeah, he came down awkwardly on that knee. But look at him go up and fight for the football. As great as Andy Dalton has been, A.J. Green has even been better, and then he continued to fight through that knee injury.
Came back, but then again had to leave. Third quarter, it is 17-10, and Dalton with Colin Koshart for a gain of 25 and a first down. And this might have been, Tim, his best throw of the game. Play action, look at this.
Harrison right at his feet, great anticipation, great accuracy, under pressure, down in the red zone. Big time play by Andy Dalton.
To Jermaine Gresham, that tied it at 17, but here comes Ben Roethlisberger and company, 2nd and 12. Mike Wallace for a gain of 12, and that's a first down. And then on 1st and goal, it's Rashard Mendenhall. Get in there for the second one of the day. The Steelers go up 24-17. By the way, in this game, Andy Dalton threw his 14th touchdown pass. That's more than any rookie quarterback ever.
Did you say ever?
Games.
Don't do that, though.
However, this one is intercepted by William Gay, and we go into the cone of integrity to explain why.
Yeah, he's pattern reading. He's cueing the quarterback. He sees the wide by the running back. He jumps inside, and right there, he steals it.
And the Steelers hang on to win 24-17, a huge game in the AFC North. What about the Baltimore Ravens coming off the big win over the Pittsburgh Steelers? You know, Joe Flacco, 1 week great, the next week not so good. Play calling might have been an issue in this game as Joe Flacco dropped back over 50 times against Seattle. And here he overthrows Torrey Smith. They threw it over 50 times.
What?
You know how many times
How many times they throw it?
Over 50. That one's intercepted by David Hawthorne, takes it 34 yards to the 8. That would set up a field goal. You know how many times Ray Rice got handed the ball in this game?
Less than 50.
The number on Joe Flacco's back. 5 rushing attempts for Ray Rice, over 50 passing attempts.
That's not good.
For Joe Flacco. Okay, look at the clock. It's 5:52, and it's a 22-17 game. Tavares Jackson to Golden Tate, gained of 24 yards, and that is a first down. So they're working. Tavares Jackson is working the Ravens defense. It's 3rd and 5. What are we going to do?
He's throwing it working.
Check it down to Marshawn Lynch, and look at the move for him to pick up 8 yards. He jukes 2 defenders.
Stay inside shoulder, Ray Lewis. Stay inside shoulder.
All right, just over 2 minutes left. It's 2nd and 8, and look at this play by Marshawn Lynch. Full beast mode, as Teddy Bruschi might like to say. He drags the pile for a first down against the Ravens defense. The Seahawks ran out the final 5:52 of the game. Seahawks win it 22-17. Stop. Tebow time.
No, don't
Kansas
do it.
City hosting the Denver T-Bows, and looky what the Broncos did. First quarter, Willis McGahee runs up the middle and picks up 12 yards. They ran for well over 200-plus yards in this game, but McGahee would have to leave with an injured hammy. Later in the drive, Tebow.
Guess what?
He does this better than anybody maybe right now. Finds the end zone.
Newsflash.
Yeah.
Empty by the goal line. Guess what? He's probably going to run.
It's going to him. Broncos up 7. Was that a triple option right there?
Throwing it?
That was a triple option. And Noshawn Moreno bounces it outside for 22. However, torn ACL. He is now done for the year. Later in the drive, once again, confusion reigns. They flip it to Eddie Royal for a gain of 11. We're not used to seeing this in the pro game. We're calling in some experts. Reese Davis, tell us what's happening.
Well, the three of us have great respect for the NFL. I know the greatest players in the world play there. My two partners here play there, Robert Smith and Craig James. However, offensively, the NFL is a homogenized sameness. Everybody looks the same. That's why we love college football. There's a little diversity, so we want to let you guys show the people about how this triple option business that the Broncos and Tim Tebow broke out on the Kansas City Chiefs works. Watch them run it to pretty near perfection here, guys.
Yeah, you see they leave the defensive tackle open to option off of him, and Kansas City didn't quite know what to do. This is the beauty of just implementing it once or twice a game. It forces a defense during their preparation to think about the dadgum triple option.
I love it. I think it's great. And whether you're running if you're running single option, you have 2 responsibilities for the single person unblocked. And if you're running triple option, those 2 players have 3 responsibilities. So either way, there's a conflict for the defense, and you leave people unblocked so you have extra blockers at the point of attack for the people that are left. And I tell you, it's a tough offense to defend, and it's a tough offense to prepare for. Defensive coordinators now have to spend time doing it.
One little thing I would say is that Eddie Royal, the guy who took the pitch for the Broncos, he needs to watch Rex Burkhead of Nebraska. Good pitch relationship.
Right.
Need a little more space between the pitch man and the quarterback.
Thank you, Reese. Thank you, everybody. So let's go back to the rest of the game. Matt Castle trying to get the Chiefs back into the game. And by the way, Matt Castle now has an injured hand. He's going to miss an extensive amount of time, going to need surgery. Nothing wrong with the hands of Jonathan Baldwin here. He pins it to the back of Brian Dawkins for what would be a 49-yard gain. It was an impressive catch.
Impressive catch.
Great concentration. I don't even know how he sees the ball. I don't think he does, but he does pin it against Dawkins.
But it just doesn't matter because there was an illegal formation on the play. All right, third quarter, there's 11 minutes gone. 11 minutes gone in the third quarter, and you are witnessing Tim Tebow's first completion of the game.
Wow. Very close to a lateral as well, by the way. Very close to a lateral.
First completion of the game. Now Tebow, that was awful. To Dante Rosario. Broncos will be forced to punt. But you know what? They really only needed one throw out of Tim, and when he absolutely positively had to have it, he made it.
And you know what he made? He made the prime Tim dime. The E is silent, coach. You got to remember that. In a big spot, making a great throw versus quarter coverage, a little bit of a double move, and a beautifully thrown ball. A dime right to Eric Decker.
It was perfect.
And his dime to completion ratio off the charts.
He's dropping a lot of dimes here.
He was 2 for 8, but one of them was a 56.
A nickel and a nickel is a dime.
One of them was a 56-yard touchdown as Tebow finds a way to win again as we go inside the numbers. I think we can all agree it has not been pretty, nor has it been conventional. But as Stephen Smith would say, however, Tim Tebow has won 3 of his 4 starts.
It's set football back 55 years.
But it's working. That's all that matters for Denver. Thanks to an offense that's averaging 41 rushing attempts per game and averaging almost 230 yards on the ground with Tim Tebow under center.
And it prevented Merrill from coming today.
That's right. Merrill was so upset he chose not to show up. We're kidding. When we continue here on NFL Primetime. Cam hasn't had many of these, but Sunday for him was a very bad day at the office against the Tennessee Titans. And when the season is over, will we be saying the road to the Super Bowl in the AFC goes through Houston? Texans looking pretty good right about now.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa. More fans go with Visa.
It is the new season, and we are set for football. And here we go. He's going to air one out down the middle, and he's caught. Touchdown!
The NFL all season long, live on ESPN America.
Charles Woodson all over the quarterback.
Charles Woodson, a force.
Hit by Woodson and sack. Oh, my goodness. Cutler back to throw, looking. Now he's hit, and he's sacked. Charles Woodson. The Green Bay Packers have earned their 4th Super Bowl championship.
Into the end zone, to the back of the end zone, catch, Shannon Sharp, what a great catch, touchdown Denver.
President, we need a National Guard, we need as many men as you can spare because we are killing the Patriots.
In the pocket, pass, wide open, Shannon Sharp, touchdown.
This day means so much to me. Because I get it shared with that guy right there.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski one win away from becoming the all-time wins leader in Division I men's basketball history. He goes for the record and 9-0-2 in the State Farm Champions Classic in Madison Square Garden, 7 Eastern Tuesday on ESPN. Primetime rolls on with a look at the Texans and the Bucks, and Matt Schaub and company decided to get off Tim to a very good start early, as in first play from scrimmage, dial it up, why don't you, to Jacoby Jones.
And Jacoby Jones doing a nice job with Andre Johnson out of the lineup, really stepping up, taking advantage of his opportunity. Huge play there to get things going for the Texans.
Lots of missed tackles in this game.
80 yards. Neil Rackers had his extra point blocked, and then Arian Foster continues to make plays. Look, guys, remember, they're doing this without Mario Williams, their best defensive player, and arguably their best offensive player in Andre Johnson, who's missed a bunch of these games, and they're still on a roll. A 78-yard touchdown. Poor tackling by the Bucks. Texans up 6-0.
This is tackle football, right?
That is correct.
Okay,
Albert Hainsworth, remember, was signed off the waiver wire and started. Really didn't matter, as the Texans did whatever they want. They won it 37-9. Tennessee came to Cam Newton's place to play the Carolina Panthers, and Tim, he just looked off all day.
Didn't have it, really didn't have it. You didn't see the big plays with him running the football. And really, you look at what the Tennessee Titans did. They were able to disguise things, confuse them a little bit, and really get after him.
Sacked 5 times in this game. Fourth quarter, and that one goes through Legadou Nene's hands and intercepted by Chris Hope. And what you see from Cam right there pretty much sums up. Just wasn't working out for him. You know, ladies and gentlemen, for one Sunday, Chris Johnson, Herm was Chris Johnson.
He dropped a 2K.
Yeah, he did.
CJ now.
It's just CJ now,
That's
and
good.
he started to run like that. 16 yards there. Nice move here.
Yeah, good move. And really, you look at what the guys up front were doing for him. Clear lanes to get him in some open space. That's where he's most effective as a runner. And if you look at what they do as well, they got their fullback back. He loves running. Fullback gets a great block from him right there, and a big play down the field.
That was a gain of 25 yards, his longest on the day. And there you see him run all like, great block. Get out.
Accelerate. Hit the hole. Go.
That's what Tennessee people have been waiting to see all season long from Chris Johnson. Later in the fourth, same score, 1 yard away, punch it in. CJ, 27 carries, 130 yards, and a touchdown. That's what we're used to. Titans win 30-3. Well, it is time to take a look at those teams that are down on their luck, as in, will we get Andrew Luck? Uh-oh. This might have been the best chance for the Colts without Peyton Manning. Jacksonville in town, and Curtis Painter, fourth quarter, it's a 7-point game, and he's picked off by William Middleton. And Painter, can't believe he just did that. But wait a minute, hold on. Jim Caldwell challenges the play, said there's too many men on the field. The ref would review it, count them. There's too many.
Nice job by Coach Caldwell.
Great job by Coach Caldwell.
They play with 12 and
So the refs would review, and they indeed, the interception was overturned. But 3 plays later, it's intercepted again. Paul Posluszny. Eventually, Dan Orlovsky came in. Where have all the good times gone, sir? I can't answer you with that stuff on your face. It's not good. As for those down on their luck, it may be over. Colts are now 2 games in front of everybody for the race for Andrew Luck. Are they winning 2 down the stretch?
No.
Are they winning 2?
This might be over.
2 games ahead of everyone.
They might be over.
In the race.
They're ahead.
They're ahead.
They're ahead in the race for the number 1.
Make that clear.
They've made themselves a comfortable margin over the Rams, Dolphins, and Panthers. When we continue on NFL Primetime, let's talk about those players that excelled more than any other. Sunday's best when we return.
Why not?
NFL Primetime is presented by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Hey, I'm Cole Wright, and coming up tonight, a full 60 minutes of Sports Center, and we'll need every minute to recap a wild Week 10, where we'll tell you how the Falcons gift-wrapped a win for the Saints with a costly decision in overtime. Tom Brady and the Pats try to end their 2-game losing skid with a win over the Jets, plus the Niners going for a surprising 8-1 start, while the St. Louis Cardinals named Tony La Russa's replacement. That and more, all straight ahead on Sports Center tonight. Don't miss it.
I always wanted to be a star, didn't I? Now I get to be a star every day on my helmet, you know?
Sanders to the 25, Sanders to the 10, 68 yards, he did it again.
Deion Sanders is dancing, he's looking backwards from about the 40-yard line. Oh, is he going to do a number on the crowd here?
I got one thing to say, this is my house. And in my dormitory room at Florida State, I created this image, this thing that you could imagine. You could love him or hate him, but he was pride. I like him, but something's missing.
Here they are, the national panel.
Every day I lose, I die just a little. Around the Horn is my favorite to do.
Let's go to work.
He's not that popular. Tell me, they were bad games. I have a real problem with it because he punched a guy.
Why'd you have to go get Woody all riled up?
Get over it. I'm fine with it.
What more could you possibly want?
The perfect bobblehead technique. It's not over, it's just beginning.
Don't miss Around the Horn, weekdays on ESPN America.
Who's Hungry is brought to you by Snickers, who reminds you to play hungry, but not literally hungry. And watch the film The Man Who Played Literally Hungry at NFL.com/Snickers.
Prime time with a look at the Redskins and the Dolphins. Rex Grossman back as the starting quarterback for the Washington Redskins. That did not work out. Grossman sails that one, and it's picked off by the Dolphins' Vontae Davis. Keep in mind, this game was played in Miami, where the Dolphins had lost 12 of 13 home games. There was no home field advantage. It hasn't been for a while for Miami. Redskins down 13-9. That one's picked off by Carlos Dansby. So not a great day for Rex. That's what got him benched in the first place. All those interceptions. And then Reggie Bush quietly having a pretty decent season.
And the way they're using him is really the right way to use him at this point, and you see the production out of Reggie Bush.
Yeah, 18-yard touchdown. He had 14 rushes, 47 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dolphins win a home game, 20-9. The Redskins continue to flounder. All right, Tim, who's hungry? Who got your best?
The 49ers defense.
Like it.
Another week without allowing a rushing touchdown tremendous performance, and then coming up with a huge play late in the game.
Herm, what about you?
Well, how about New England Patriots? Rob Ninkovich.
I like it.
2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. Big-time plays by a good football player.
And by the Patriots defense, which has been so bad. I'm going with Tony Romo. All he did was set the Cowboys record for accuracy, minimum 20 attempts. 88.5% completion percentage. He was 23 of 26, 3 touchdowns. He completed his first 13 throws. Other than that, Tony Romo didn't do anything right against the Buffalo Bills. Thanks for watching.
On the roller coaster again?
Romo coaster was up, way up.
We're coming out of the tunnel fast on College Football Live. After some major surprises this weekend, there's been a BCS shakeup. The ripple effects of some key losses from some of the nation's top teams. A lack of perfection, not always the worst thing. Our experts examine the best one-loss teams and tell you who's the cream of that crop. And they are simply spectacular. You have to see the jaw-dropping plays that make up the plays of the week. It's coming up right now on College Football Live.
College Football Live is presented by Chevrolet.
The fallout from some key losses over the weekend. That's coming up in just a moment. Welcome to College Football Live. Robert Smith, Mike Yan with you. Joe Schad is going to be along in just a little bit with an injury update. Desmond Howard's going to stop by as well. But we start with the developing story surrounding Joe Paterno. Because of the child sexual abuse scandal surrounding Jerry Sandusky and Penn State, the Big Ten has decided to make a change. Because of the firing of Joe Paterno, conference today announced that it will remove Paterno's name from the championship trophy, which will be awarded in its inaugural football championship game December 3rd. Big Ten Commissioner Jim Delaney released the following statement, quote, "We believe that it would be inappropriate to keep Joe Paterno's name on the trophy at this time. The trophy and its namesake are intended to be celebratory and aspirational, not controversial. We believe that it is important to keep the focus on the players and the teams that will be competing in the inaugural championship game." And for more on this story, Mark Schwartz joins us from State College. And Mark, what's the latest involving this story?
Well, first of all, Mike, Penn State officials will have no comment about Joe Paterno's name being removed from the trophy. Much of the focus today is on an organization called Second Mile, the organization founded by Jerry Sandusky in 1977 to help young boys, an organization people around here call the most popular charity in the region. Well, today they announced that the CEO for 28 years, Dr. Jack Rakovitz, has resigned from an organization that is now being investigated by Pennsylvania Governor Tom Corbett. Also related, Leslie Dutchcott, the district judge who offered Jerry Sandusky $100,000 in unsecured bail, did not reveal that she was a volunteer at Second Mile when she took the Sandusky case. Some are feeling that that is a conflict of interest. She never met Sandusky, she says, and she was only involved on a limited basis. But much of the flurry of activity today, Mike, revolving around Second Mile.
Mark, there are obviously some positives that did come across with this foundation that Jerry Sandusky did find. What are people in the community right now saying about Sandusky?
Well, one of the things they're saying is that the fact he is roaming around the community on bail and is free to wear his Penn State gear out and about, people have seen him doing that. One gentleman who lives in his neighborhood says it feels like a slap in the face. It feels like he's taunting us, and he's going to collect his pension from Penn State University and then go to trial and try to clear his name. But one of the biggest concerns is that Sandusky's home abuts to the playground of an elementary school. And given the allegations against Jerry Sandusky, some of the neighbors are concerned about that. They don't think he's going to try to do anything crazy. They're more concerned about the crossfire of those that would try to harm Sandusky, and they are wondering why Sandusky, like Mike McQueary, the receivers coach, has not been put in a place for his own protection away from a place that everybody knows about. Everyone here knows where everyone else lives, Mike.
Oh, really, this story has a lot of wrinkles, and we will continue to uncover them for you here on College Football Live. Mark Schwartz with the latest from State College. All right, well, in conjunction with ESPN Research and Global Strategy Group, A public opinion survey of 804 Americans ages 13 and up was conducted. Here are some of the results. Joe Paterno, according to the survey, should have been fired, according to 51% of the people that took part in the survey. Of that group, though, there's still a favorable perception of Joe Paterno among 25% of those that were polled. Now, some of the other questions that were asked in the survey, Penn State and their handling of the situation, 44% saying they did handle the situation correctly, and the response from the student body, 16%, saying obviously what had transpired on the campus was not a positive thing. And certainly a lot of different aspects of this story. Penn State, they do play this weekend. Joe Paterno not on the field. They lose to Nebraska. How, in your mind, Robert, does Penn State finish the season?
Well, I think they're going to be okay. I mean, you looked at them in this game against Nebraska, and I think really the most impressive and encouraging part of this was that they dropped down 17-0, and then they fought their way back at the end of the game. They certainly had a chance on those last couple of drives. They had the 4th down stop against Nebraska and then tried to get downfield. And of course, McGloin wasn't able to manage the clock correctly. But I think considering the whirlwind that this team had gone through that entire week, the performance was impressive in the fact that they didn't fold their tents when they very easily could have. Now, look, they're not going to get any better offensively as the season goes on here. The very reason that they had a quarterback controversy all season long is because neither Matt McGloin nor Rob Bolden stepped up at the quarterback position. That's not going to change, but they are still going to be a great defense. Devin Still is still going to be one of the best defensive linemen playing in opposing backfields for the rest of the season. They go on the road to Ohio State this weekend. I don't see how Ohio State musters up enough offense, quite frankly, to beat Penn State. But in the season finale against Wisconsin, I think they go down. I don't think they can score enough to keep up with Wisconsin, and that means they would be tied in the leaders division, but Wisconsin would take it because of the head-to-head matchup.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how this team is going to be on a consistent basis able to respond. One thing to come off, obviously, all the scandal and the drama and really muster it up in that first game. They still lost to Nebraska, but still some tough matchups for them moving forward. Now, Penn State still in the top 25 of the BCS as you take a look at the standings, 21 through 25. Florida State in the standings for the first time this season. I mentioned Penn State sitting at 21. They dropped 9 spots after that home loss to Nebraska. Now, TCU, they go from unranked to 19th after winning at Boise State. What a game that was. 4 Big Ten teams ranked from 15 through 18. Houston stays put at 11, but it's in a great position for a BCS game. As for the top 10, Stanford and Boise, they each dropped 5 spots after losing. Oregon jumps from 7th to 4th and gets another big test with USC this week. The top 3 still stay the same: LSU, Oklahoma State, and Bama leading the way. Now, you take a look at some of those top teams, and some of those teams do have 1 loss. In your mind, Robert, who's the best 1-loss team in the nation?
I'm going to say Alabama, and I've really gone back and forth on this one, and I think kind of reevaluating the way that I looked at the Alabama-LSU game, I was probably a little bit too hard on Alabama for losing that game at home. Now, clearly, they missed 4 field goals in that ball game. Not very good from a special team standpoint. There's no denying that. Clearly.